St. Louis Blues versus Buffalo Sabres, two teams skating in different directions, meet tonight at KeyBank Center as the Buffalo Sabres, 5-4 and 4-5, 5-2-2 at home, host the St. Louis Blues, 4-8-2, 2-4-0 on the road. For Buffalo, this is a chance to climb above the early season logjam in the Atlantic Division, where they currently sit with 14 points, chasing the likes of Montreal and Detroit. St. Louis, meanwhile, lingers at the bottom of the Central with just 10 points, fighting to steady their footing before their season slips further. It's a mid-autumn matchup that feels like a must-win for both sides. Buffalo chasing momentum, St. Louis desperate to stop the bleeding. These two clubs mirror each other statistically, yet their trajectories tell a deeper story. Both average 2.85 goals per game, but the Sabres defend slightly better, holding opponents to 3.08 GAA compared to the Blues' 4.00 team GAA. Buffalo's special teams edge shows, too, a tighter defensive structure, a penalty kill sitting near 90%, and goaltending stability from a three-man rotation led by Alex Lyon, 3.4, -3, -3.915 SV%. St. Louis, on the other hand, leans heavily on Jordan Binnington, who's battled through inconsistency with a 3.08 GAA and .859 SV%, while Joel Hofer has struggled at .836. Offensively, Alex Tuch headlines Buffalo's surge, posting 12 points, 5G, 7A, backed by Tage Thompson's 10 points and Rasmus Dahlin's 8 assists from the blue line. That top trio drives the Sabres' pace, balanced, skilled, and capable of flipping a game in one shift. For St. Louis, the picture's murkier. Pius Suter, 8 points, and Robert Thomas, 6 assists, have carried the load, while Jake Neighbors' 6 goals highlight one of the few bright spots. Still, with Neighbors sidelined until December and Zach Dean out long-term, secondary scoring must emerge from Kiro and Snuggerud, both sitting at 8 points but struggling in the plus-minus column. Recent form paints a contrasting rhythm. Buffalo's last 5 outings include a narrow 4-3 shootout win over Washington, but also 4 overtime losses, all by 1 goal. They're in every game, but can't seem to finish the job. St. Louis, meanwhile, has dropped 4 of their last 5, most recently a 6-1 loss to Washington, underscoring a defensive breakdown that's plagued them for weeks. Their lone win came against Edmonton, a sign they can rise to the occasion. But consistency remains elusive. Buffalo's persistence in tight contests suggests control. St. Louis lapses show a team searching for identity. Between the pipes, tonight's duel could be decisive. Alex Lyon has emerged as Buffalo's steadying force, calm, compact, and confident, stopping 301 of 329 shots faced. He's giving the Sabres reliability they've long missed. Across the ice, Binnington remains volatile. When locked in, he can steal games. When off, the scoreboard tilts quickly. His 3.08 GAA hides some strong saves under heavy fire, 227 shots faced in 11 games, but St. Louis's defensive structure hasn't done him favors. Expect Lyon's composure to anchor Buffalo's effort, especially if the game tightens late. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Buffalo Sabres winner. Strategically, this matchup tilts toward Buffalo's depth and defensive balance. Their blue line, powered by Dahlin and Samuelsson, plays with confidence and transition speed, pushing the puck forward cleanly. The Sabres' penalty kill has been sharp, while the Blues' power play, just 17 PPA through 13 games, continues to sputter. For St. Louis to compete, they'll need cleaner exits, more traffic in front of Lyon, and smarter gap control in their own zone. Buffalo's forecheck, led by Tuch and Thompson, thrives on chaos. If the Blues' defense bends early, it could unravel fast. The X factor sits on special teams and pace. Buffalo can win this game if they dictate tempo, stretching St. Louis's defense east-west and forcing long shifts. But if the Blues slow play down and rely on physicality from Falk and Parayko, they can grind Buffalo into mistakes. For St. Louis, this must be a structure-first game. Limit turnovers, protect the slot, and rely on opportunistic rushes. For Buffalo, it's about composure. They've been a bounce away from stringing wins together, and that patience will be tested tonight. Their ability to stay disciplined, move the puck cleanly, and convert second-chance looks could finally turn their near misses into momentum. Both teams know the margins are razor-thin, and whoever controls rhythm early will likely own the scoreboard late. The Sabres' balance, goaltending steadiness, and home ice rhythm give them the edge. Expect a strong push from St. Louis early, but Buffalo's top line and blue line stability should control the closing stretch. The Sabres skate out with 2 crucial points, while the Blues leave still searching for answers in their own zone. Prediction: total over 5.5. Minnesota Wild versus Carolina Hurricanes. This one feels big. 2 teams in very different rhythms collide in Raleigh tonight. The Wild trying to claw back toward .500, and the Hurricanes looking to solidify their early season statement. Minnesota enters at 5-6-3, 7th in the Central Division, chasing consistency after a turbulent start. Carolina, sitting at 8-4-0 and 3rd in the Metropolitan, has found its identity at home, rolling 3-1-0 at Lenovo Center. It's a November matchup that means more than the standings show. One team fighting to sustain momentum, the other desperate to build it. Minnesota's season has been a grind of narrow escapes and close losses. Their 3.64 goals against average tells the story, a team that can score but struggles to contain. Kirill Kaprizov remains the pulse, leading the Wild with 18 points through 14 games, including 8 goals and 10 assists. He's been their spark and safety valve. Matt Boldy and Marco Rossi follow with steady secondary scoring, but defensive lapses keep them chasing. Carolina, meanwhile, plays with balance and discipline. Seth Jarvis has erupted for 8 goals and 12 points in 12 games, while Sebastian Aho continues to orchestrate with 8 assists and the smooth control that defines this team's tempo. On the blue line, Mike Riley's +10+- underlines Carolina's defensive polish. They're cohesive, structured, and efficient in transition. The tail of the tape tilts toward the Hurricanes in the details. Carolina averages 3.58 goals per game to Minnesota's 2.79, and their goals against mark, 2.67 compared to the Wild's 3.64, paints a picture of control. On special teams, the Wild convert 31.5% on the power play, an elite mark driven by Kaprizov's vision and Boldy's net front timing, but they kill penalties at just 66.7%. That's a dangerous gap against a Carolina club that, while modest at 11.4% on the power play, owns an 83.7% penalty kill and thrives on forechecking mistakes. Expect Carolina to test Minnesota's discipline early and often. Momentum tells its own story. The Wild snapped a slide with back-to-back wins over Vancouver and Nashville, scoring 8 goals across those 2 outings. Before that, they'd dropped 3 straight, surrendering 15 goals in the process. Their inconsistency mirrors their goaltending. Filip Gustavsson, 4-6-1, .890 save percentage, has battled to stabilize the crease, while rookie Jesper Wallstedt's early struggles, .863, suggest limited relief. Carolina's last 5 games, meanwhile, have featured convincing moments. A 6-2 win over the Islanders and a 3-0 shutout of the Rangers, offset by narrow losses to Boston and Vegas. They've been steadier, tighter, and better in the trenches. And that brings us to the duel in goal, Gustafsson versus Frederik Andersen. Andersen owns a 2.96 GAA and .894 save percentage, but his numbers hardly tell the full story. He's been composed under pressure, tracking pucks cleanly and rebounding from early season rust. Gustafsson, meanwhile, faces the tougher road. His 3.11 GAA and .890 save percentage underline what's become the Wild's biggest problem, sustained defensive structure. Anderson benefits from Carolina's puck possession machine, a team allowing just 27.7 shots per game, while Gustafsson faces almost 31 a night. In a game likely to turn on one mistake, the steadier glove could be the difference. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Hurricanes winner. Tactically, the edge belongs to Carolina. Their neutral zone structure suffocates rushes, and their transition game punishes turnovers. The Wild's strength is their power play, which has kept them competitive even in losses. But at even strength, Carolina's forecheck and defensive rotation consistently force dump and chase hockey, a style that neutralizes Kaprizov's creativity. Expect Aho's line to press high and test Minnesota's second pair, especially with Zach Bogosian on injured reserve. Without his physical presence, the Wild's zone exits become riskier, and Carolina's depth, from Jarvis to Jordan Martinook, can wear down defenders over 60 minutes. The Wild will need their top six to dictate the pace early. If Kaprizov and Boldy can generate clean entries and draw penalties, their special teams could swing the tone. But Carolina's defensive discipline and goaltending stability are tough to crack at home. Anderson has yet to lose in regulation at Lenovo Center, and with Minnesota allowing 3.64 goals per game, the margin for error is razor thin. This one sets up as a clash between a team finding rhythm and a team trying to keep it. Carolina's structure, home ice, and blue line depth tip the balance. Carolina's defensive layers and Anderson's poise outlast Kaprizov's brilliance. Expect the Hurricanes to own the neutral zone, control the tempo, and deliver a clean, confident home win that cements their early season form. Prediction: total over 5.5. Philadelphia Flyers versus Nashville Predators. Tonight in Nashville, it's a clash of mid-season urgency and momentum. The Philadelphia Flyers arrive at Bridgestone Arena at 7-5-1, riding high from a thrilling shootout win over Montreal. The Predators, sitting at 5-6-4, are desperate to stop their slide after back-to-back overtime heartbreakers. Both clubs sit in the thick of their divisional races. Philadelphia holding fourth in the Metro with 15 points. Nashville grasping for traction in the Central, tied in a logjam with Dallas and Chicago. It's a statement game on both sides. For the Flyers, a chance to prove they can grind out wins on the road. For the Preds, a chance to stabilize before the standings slip away. Philadelphia has leaned on a balanced attack built around newly acquired Trevor Zegras, who leads the team with 15 points and 11 assists through 13 games. His vision and creativity have re-energized the Flyers' top six. Bobby Brink has provided scoring touch with 5 goals, while Travis Konechny and Sean Couturier continue to drive possession and pace. On the blue line, Cam York and Travis Sanheim have logged heavy minutes, anchoring a defensive core that's cut opponents to just 2.69 goals per game. Between the pipes, Dan Vladar has been the steady hand, going 5-3 with a .912 save percentage and 2.33 goals against average. Philadelphia's penalty kill sits sharp at 87%, a difference maker in close contests. For Nashville, the offensive load rests squarely on Filip Forsberg, who's been in vintage form, 6 goals, 5 assists, and a team-best 47 shots. Luke Evangelista's playmaking has complemented him with 7 helpers, while veterans Ryan O'Reilly and Michael Bunting bring grit and secondary scoring. But the Predators' issue isn't effort, it's finishing and defending consistency. They're averaging just 2.53 goals per game while allowing 3.40, with their power play still searching for rhythm. Juuse Saros, a backbone for years, has faced 381 shots in 12 starts, posting a .900 save rate and 2.95 GAA. When he's sharp, Nashville looks formidable. When the rebounds leak, they struggle to recover. Both clubs' recent form tells a familiar tale. The Flyers have won 3 of their last 5, including shootout triumphs over Pittsburgh and Montreal, while dropping hard losses to Toronto and Calgary. Their offensive rhythm has been streaky, but their resilience late in games is notable. Nashville, meanwhile, has gone 1-3-1 in its last 5, including 2 overtime losses in 3 nights. Their lone win came against Calgary, where Forsberg and O'Reilly carried the load. The Predators' late-game defense has wavered, surrendering goals in key third-period moments. In contrast, Philadelphia has shown poise under pressure, winning tight, low-scoring affairs through special teams and disciplined forechecking. And so it may come down to the goaltenders. Dan Vladar, the quiet backbone of Philadelphia's strong start, has outdueled opponents in structured, low-event games. His controlled angles and rebound management fit the Flyers' defensive identity perfectly. Across the ice, Juuse Saros remains the heartbeat of Nashville, athletic, reactive, and capable of stealing games outright. But the wear is showing. He's faced heavy shot volumes and shouldered nearly every minute of Nashville's schedule. If the Flyers sustain zone pressure and force extended possessions, they can test Saros' endurance and exploit Nashville's defensive gaps on second-chance plays. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Flyers winner. Tactically, expect a battle of tempo and spacing. Philadelphia's system thrives when its forwards cycle deep and control the neutral zone. Their forecheck forces turnovers, creating quick-developing scoring looks. Nashville will counter with stretch passes and Forsberg's explosiveness off the rush. Special teams could swing this one. The Flyers' penalty kill has been elite, while the Predators' power play has struggled to convert. That's a dangerous imbalance, especially against a road-tested Flyers squad that rarely beats itself. If Nashville wants to tilt the ice, they'll need cleaner exits and sustained possession from their second and third lines. The X factors loom large. For Philadelphia, it's Zegras' playmaking and Brink's finishing touch. If they connect early, momentum follows. For Nashville, the home crowd could lift their intensity, and a single Forsberg spark can change the tone instantly. Over 60 minutes, structure and discipline usually decide games, and the Flyers hold edges in goaltending, defense, and the penalty kill. Philadelphia's defensive shape and goaltending edge prevail in a tight, physical contest. Zegras orchestrates the offense, Vladar holds steady, and the Flyers skate out of Bridgestone with another statement road win, quietly tightening their grip in the Metro while Nashville keeps searching for that missing spark. Prediction: total over 4.5. Tampa Bay Lightning versus Vegas Golden Knights. Two heavyweights collide under the bright lights of T-Mobile Arena as the Tampa Bay Lightning, 6-5-2 on the season, roll into Las Vegas to take on the 7-2-3 Golden Knights. Tampa sits 5th in the Atlantic Division, chasing ground behind Montreal and Detroit, while Vegas holds 2nd in the Pacific, just a point shy of Anaheim. For Tampa, it's about finding rhythm in a tightly packed division race. For Vegas, it's about holding serve at home and proving their early form is no fluke. The Lightning edged the Golden Knights 2-1 in overtime in their first meeting, and tonight feels like a statement game for both sides. One chasing consistency, the other defending pride on home ice. The Lightning's offensive heartbeat has been steady if unspectacular, led by Jake Guentzel's 12 points through 13 games and Anthony Cirelli's 7 goals. Victor Hedman continues to be the steadying force on the blue line with 10 assists and a +2 rating. Tampa averages 2.85 goals per game while allowing 2.77, and their power play has quietly produced at an 8.8% clip. Not elite, but efficient enough when their stars are on the ice. Defensively, the Lightning lean heavily on Hedman's structure and Emil Lilleberg's physical presence, with 31 penalty minutes showcasing his grit. Vegas counters with star power and balance. Jack Eichel has been electric, 19 points in 12 games with 8 goals and 11 assists, driving one of the NHL's most complete top lines. Pavel Dorofeyev's 9 goals lead the team, while Mitch Marner's 14 points and +8 rating highlight his two-way brilliance. The Golden Knights average 3.33 goals per game and allow just 2.58, anchored by a penalty kill running above 80%. This team thrives on puck movement and patience, a blend of speed and structure that wears opponents down shift by shift. In net, it's a duel of proven performers. Andrei Vasilevsky, the Lightning's anchor, carries a 2.67 goals against average and a .900 save percentage through 9 games. He's as steady as they come, a master technician who reads angles with surgical calm. Jonas Johansson has provided a solid backup effort with a .916 save percentage in limited duty. Across the rink, Vegas turns to Akira Schmid, with Adden Hill sidelined. Schmid's 6-1 record, 2.31 GAA, and 908 save percentage show he's more than capable of holding the crease. His composure under pressure, especially at home, gives the Knights confidence even with their usual starter out. Momentum tells a fascinating story. Tampa Bay has won 4 of its last 5, including solid road victories over Dallas, Utah, and Nashville, before a narrow 3-2 loss to Colorado. They've been grinding out tight games, building chemistry with each trip. Vegas, meanwhile, snapped a rough 3-game skid with a 1-0 defensive gem over Detroit, a win that might have reset their tone. Before that, they dropped games to Carolina and Colorado after that OT loss in Tampa, showing signs of inconsistency but not collapse. The Knights' attack can light up in bursts, but when their defensive layers sync up, they're nearly impossible to crack. The key tonight lies in tempo. Tampa thrives when it can transition quickly, using Cirelli's two-way engine and Hedman's breakout vision to stretch the ice. But Vegas excels in structure, controlling the neutral zone, suffocating forechecks, and forcing turnovers that fuel instant offense. The Golden Knights' top 6 can overwhelm any defensive unit, but Tampa's balance from lines 1 through 3 makes them resilient in low-scoring games. Expect Tampa's power play to be tested by Vegas's disciplined kill, and Vegas's offense to challenge Vasilevsky with layered traffic in front of the net. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Vegas Golden Knights winner. Both teams bring playoff-level structure into this one. Vegas wants revenge for that overtime loss, while Tampa aims to prove its road toughness is no accident. Eichel versus Hedman is the chess match. Skill against size, vision against positioning. Guentzel and Cirelli's chemistry could be the wild card, especially if they draw favorable matchups against Vegas's second pair. The difference may come down to fatigue and execution. Tampa's been on the road. Vegas is coming off a confidence-building shutout. What makes this clash even more intriguing is the situational urgency. Both clubs know every shift matters in maintaining early season momentum. Expect sharp bench management, heavy forechecking, and playoff-style discipline from both sides as they battle for rhythm and respect. Vegas edges it late behind Eichel's creativity and Schmid's poise. Tampa fights hard, but Vegas's balanced attack and home ice control give them the final say. Expect a tense tactical battle, the kind that reminds everyone these are two teams built for spring hockey, not just November bragging rights. Prediction: total over 4.5.